heading home. Weekend is over. Well, still got the holiday tomorrow, but I need to get home, kick back with the family, and do some barbecuing, get ready for my surgery. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the weekend out here. We kind of walked around the property and showed you what some wild edibles were and how to identify them. Told you a little bit about them. Now, what we found out there, what we showed you, is nothing we planted. It's all natural. It's all growing up on its own. You can find them throughout Missouri. They are, you won't always find them where you're at, especially if you're just out on nature trails and stuff like that, because they tend to go through there and clear the area, the trail you're on, and you won't find them unless you go exploring. But if you get into a survival situation where you're not on a given trail and you're just out there, then you're gonna maybe use some of that knowledge and get through it. Or if you are out exploring, you're not in a survival situation, but come across like the gooseberry bushes. It's got some big berries on it that are going from green to almost white, not quite white, but close to it. They'll be good. They're crunchy. They're tart. It's a tart treat, so don't go grab anything you're going to get something sweet. It is tart. It will, in those first two bites, it's going to dry your mouth out real fast, and then next thing you know, the waterfall flows because your mouth will water. I can tend to handle a couple of them at a time, but that's about it because they are tart. They'll pucker your mouth. Wild strawberries. Not as sweet as store-bought strawberries, or if you got a strawberry bush and that. Some are very dry. I grabbed a couple that weren't juicy at all. They were dry, bland. This morning, grabbed a couple, and they were very juicy, but still bordered on the bland side. Now, in a few weeks, those blackberry bushes are going to be in full bloom, loaded with blackberries. Downside with them is that you got to beat the squirrels and the birds to them because they love them just as much. And those, every once in a while, you'll get a tart one, but it's still good. It's a really good taste. Now we showed you poke salad. Again, you want to indulge in something like that, like my dad told you, boil it good, drain it, rinse it, boil it again, drain it, rinse it, heat it up, and it's kind of like a spinach. Lamb's quarter. It's kind of like a green leaf spinach, like a baby spinach, more or less. I know I like baby spinach for salads and stuff like that, so you got that. There's other wild edibles that are almost everywhere you go. You get a good acorn tree. Acorns. Roast them, eat them. Now, like I said, if you're in a survival situation, they don't provide a lot of protein or calories, so you need a lot to make it on those. But if you're just out camping, hiking, or whatever, nice little trail treat. Maybe one day I'll try and build us a snare trap there. They're tricky, but they're easy. you don't set in the right spot, snare yourself a squirrel or a rabbit. You know, really only want to use those in a survival situation, but you know, or unless you're a licensed trapper, get your trapping permit. Go out and use those for trapping. You snare a rabbit by the leg or the neck or the waist, wherever, whenever it cinches down at. You know, going for the fur and you get the meat too. So, you know, downside is versus shooting your rabbit versus snaring it. When you shoot it, it's dead by the time you get to it. When you snare it, it's still alive, just hanging there and trapped, can't go nowhere. You guys snap its neck by hand. You know, it sounds cruel, it sounds mean, but in a survival situation, you know, it comes down to a cute and fluffy bunny is no longer a pet. It's a meal. It's a lot of protein. It's being able to wake up the next day. May not be the most chipper of people at time, and I have a dry sense of humor, but you know, I'm a very avid animal lover. I go out, I see rabbits, deer, squirrel, birds, snakes, lizards, frogs. I admire them, but at the same time, I'm also a hunter. A lot of people don't agree with hunting. I can just go buy my food at the grocery store. Yeah, but hunting is a skill that you know, everyone should know and practice. One, if you're a true hunter, you're not going to overhunt your area. You're going to take care of it. You're going to maintain it. You got to pull the herd. If too many of them, they're going to overrun they're going to end up hurting themselves or getting hurt and hurting other people, running out in front of cars. I don't know how many times I see deer that have bet their end because they came in, got hit by a car. Keep the herd small, but maintained so that they're there for future generations. Right now, the state of Missouri is over half of Missouri is in a CWD quarantine area. Chronic wasting disease. It's devastating. What it does to the deer. I've fortunately never come in contact with one that has the disease, or if it is diseased, it's not far enough along to where you see the devastating condition that the deer go to. Their nervous system pretty much melts. I've seen videos of people have shot where they found a deer. It's drooling, staggering around. It can barely hold its head up. It can barely walk. It's saddening. As a hunter, it's our responsibility to help ensure the disease doesn't spread. By doing that, unfortunately, you have to thin the herd. The more deer you get concentrated in one area, the greater the risk that entire herd is now gonna be infected. You go from a handful to hundreds of them. The next thing you know, all you got left is a handful of healthy deer. And then they're on the extinction list. Our future generations don't get to enjoy it like we did. It's a sad state that, great species are just disappearing. The wolf has the bad rap of being killer of man, killer of livestock, just vicious beasts. They're not. They were here long before we were. They're a beautiful creature. Even the coyote has its place. I know a lot of hunters are avid about, the coyotes need to be pushed to be wiped out and annihilated. My question is always why? Why do they need to be eliminated? They have just as much right to hunt the deer that we hunt. Just because we're man doesn't give us the right to dictate who can hunt, who can survive. We're going after their food source. You gotta learn to share. Your parents teach you that as a kid. You gotta share your toys. Well, you gotta share the world. Because if we don't, we'll never survive. We need them just as much as they need us. If you think about a coyote, when they hunt, they're not going after the strongest and the biggest. They're going after the smallest and the weakest, or the oldest. It's called natural selection. The big, the strong are going to survive and breed. The old and weak, they're going to die anyways. Why shouldn't the coyote be able to have a meal? The coyote's not going to waste anything either. They're going to eat that whole thing. And if they don't finish, they'll come back to you. Because they'll scavenge just as well. Just like vultures. A lot of people consider them ugly. I'm one of them. They are an ugly bird. But they have a purpose and they're graceful and it's amazing that they're the garbage disposal and the cleaners. they're the natural cleaners. If it wasn't for them, there'd be a lot more disease out there because they can eat that rotting, maggot-infested corpse and it not even faze them. And when they're done with it, there's nothing but a pile of bones to go back into become one with the earth again. Again, everything has its purpose and its place. It's not our place to dictate what that is. I had planned on actually coming back up here after my surgery. My dad wants to go out and do a backpacking adventure. He went out and actually got himself a backpack. I was kind of shocked. We're gonna go up here to Whetstone Conservation Area. There's no designated trails. Camp there. They've got camping areas where you can go and camp. We're gonna park near one of them because it's free camping. Load up our packs. Take our fishing gear. We're going to hike through the park. We are going to set camp and fish. Hopefully, I know for a fact there's tons of wild edibles in that area. Maybe we'll have us somewhat of a bushcraft adventure. Not so much as building our own shelters because they don't allow you to do that there. But I'll have my hammock. I'll use that. But There's persimmons, there's gooseberries, blackberries, wild strawberries, wood sorrel, lamb's quarter, all that in there, along with lots of other wild edibles. You know, we'll gather them as we hike. And have ourselves good treats. Added stuff to add to our meals. We get enough lamb's quarter, we can have ourselves a nice little salad. You know, enough blackberries, have a good dessert. Maybe even find a decent sassafras. Get a hold of it. Have ourselves some tea. That'll be good. Well, I'm back on the highway, so I'm going to get off here and get myself home nice and safe. I want to thank you again for tuning in and joining in on the adventure. Hopefully I'll get some chances while I'm recovering from my surgery to come up with some hiker chats. We'll discuss some things. Even get some ideas from you. I'll post them out on the site. Ask questions. I'll do what I can, my best to answer them and discuss my thoughts and ideas on things with you. Really get into it. Again, get out. Find your adventure. Life's out there just waiting for you to live it. Until next time.